All right, give it to me.
The following contains offensive language and spoilers. Listener discretion is advised. You're the best around. Never bring you down.
There are lyrics to that. I just don't know them, but yeah. Oh man. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. Nerds, you bully me host Leroy, aka ladies, your man's not cheating on you. He's just playing NCAA 25. With my co-host.
Yeah, this is Eli, aka Snake Eyes Lunchbox.
There you go. Bloop, blow it up. Yep, we're back with the episode. And yes, this is actually going to be a heavy Eli-centric episode. It's actually going to be even heavier Eli-centric than I thought it was going to be, but I forgot all the topics he told me. But luckily, he forgot all the topics he told me also, so it all pans out. So yeah.
So it'll be just a regular old episode.
Yeah. And shout out to the AI also. AI, I don't know. Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to them. All right.
Bow down to our precious icons. Yes.
Yes, they're going to take over eventually. Yeah, and we're back with the episode, so we're going to jump into it. And like I said, even though it's heavily Eli-centric, I'm going to jump into it with a topic I want to talk to it first. We're going to say rest in peace to Bob Newhart. Now I know why am I doing Bob Newhart, because I know last week we fast forward through all the wall of death last week. And honestly, this week I think about it also like, why are we going to talk about Bob Newhart? You know, we just fasted also. But then I started seeing like clips and stuff, and then I just remember like, wait a minute. Bob Newhart was my guy. Now that I think about it, I didn't think about it at the time, but he was my guy. So
he was on like every TV show.
He was on every TV show, like TV shows I used to watch all the time. And I was like, wait a minute, Bob Newhart got some stuff out there, man. Now, of course, everybody knows about Elf. If you watch Elf, he was on there. I actually never saw Elf, but heard it was funny. So
it's all right. It's fine.
You saw Elf and I didn't?
The kids like it. I mean, John Favreau directed that.
This is definitely an opposite day podcast. Okay, yeah, but yeah, John Favreau area. Because the thing is, like, one of the shows that I watched, I think maybe like every episode of it. And I don't know why I watched it, but I did watch it. Newhart, not the Bob Newhart show. Newhart, two different things.
Yeah, the one in the 80s.
The one in the 80s. Because the funniest thing on that show to me was
Larry Darrendale. Okay, yeah.
Larry. I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl. They did this bit every single episode. And Eli, I laughed every single time. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that shit was so funny. I was young as fuck. Maybe that's the type of humor that I thought I was into at the time. I guess I was a weird kid growing up. I guess.
Oh yeah,
but it was.
I mean,
funny
I was around that age. I was like an adolescent, laughing at the somebody gets kicked in the balls. You know, you laugh at the dumbest shit.
I still laugh at somebody kicking the balls. That's just that joke will never go down.
Yeah. Larry Daryl. Yeah.
Larry Daryl. That was just a funny. Anytime they showed it, they were like the highlight of the show. Not only that, remember we talked about bosom buddies the other day. We also talked about what happened to the other guy that wasn't Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah.
He was on that show.
He was.
Yeah, and I didn't think about it at the time because for some reason I had completely blocked Newhart out of my memory altogether. Even though I watched every single episode, and I remember he was on the show, but he had glasses. That's why I didn't recognize him. When the other show he had like wig, makeup, and boobs, so I couldn't recognize him for that. He looked completely different there. And also Newhart is known for like having one of the most brilliant like series finales endings on the show, because at the end of the show, like I said, I didn't watch the Bob Newhart show, but apparently the very last scene of Newhart was Bob Newhart waking up with his wife from the Bob Newhart show, not his wife on this show, the old show. And she was actually I had this dream about these crazy ass dudes with these brothers with the same names, and I had this hot ass blonde wife on the show. It's like that. She's like, okay, no more pizza when you go to bed, shit like that. So apparently Newhart was a dream of the Bob Newhart show, which meaning this show never happened, which explained why so much weird shit happened on the show. So
yeah,
that was it. That's what happened. The Bob Newhart show was a lot more grounded, more realistic, where Newhart was just wild and out of control, just something like that. So that's all I got. I just want to just say that because when
he was also a forced ghost on The Big Bang Theory.
Was he? Okay, because when I was Googling, I saw that and I was just like, why is he a force ghost?
Hey, Jakey Poo's in the house.
What it do, Jake? You are first. Okay, yeah.
First Jake.
We're talking about Bob Newhart, Jake. I know you don't know who it is.
Did Jake watch The Big Bang Theory? Maybe he would have.
He probably watched the Big Bang. Okay, I forgot because Bob Newhart did so much stuff. It's almost impossible not to know Bob Newhart. You're right about that. So
yeah.
He wouldn't know the Bob Newhart.
He might know him from Elf. Yeah, I mean, he saw. I'm sure Jake saw Elf, right?
Okay, yeah, everybody saw Elf, so of course he would know from that. So
except you.
Except me. I'm the only person that ever saw Elf. I was gonna get around to it. I may have even bought it.
Christmas. We'll wait for Christmas.
And just never watched it. Yeah.
There we go. Live commentary this Christmas. Exclusive comic book bullies.
No, you don't know who Bob Newhart is?
Oh, well, he was in Elf.
Why am I sounding shocked like he's supposed to know who Bob Newhart is? Oh man. That's all we got. But yeah, rest in peace to Bob Newhart. We can move past.
Good journey, sir.
Yeah, we can talk about that enough. All right. So now, okay, before we get into, you know what? Yeah. Let's switch, Eli. We're gonna switch topics. You still do it's still your topic, but we switch.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because everybody been asking me this week about, oh, you're gonna watch Twisters, you're gonna watch Twisters. Like, why should I watch Twisters? Eli, did you ask me should I watch Twisters?
I did. I thought because you were all hyped up to see it. I figured you were gonna go see it.
I really wasn't. No, I wasn't. I was like,
oh man,
everybody kept asking me. I was like, is something that happened I need to know? Is there after
I remember when
I didn't know about? Or?
Yeah, I remember when the Super Bowl trailer dropped. You was all like, hell yeah, Twister.
You know what? I think I was a prisoner of the moment. I think that's what it was.
Like, oh shit, then, Twisters.
and then like okay, because the Super Bowl was like 6 months ago or whatever the fuck it was, and now I'm thinking about, I'm like, do I really watch the movie? I'm like, not really.
Hey, Evo was on. Fuck that shit.
Evo was on. That's why I was like, fuck Twisters. How long do you?
How big do bearded dragons poop? Depends the size, you know. I consider getting a bearded dragon.
That is a riddle inside of a paradox, inside of a mystery.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this ain't the nature show. Yeah, maybe maybe he's referring to the Riddler.
Don't worry, you ask enough questions, you're gonna get the answer from us. So one of us will know the answer. Oh, what was I gonna say? So get it. Oh, man, the reason I'm gonna talk about Twister because I didn't really care about Twister, but I did watch Twister today because it was on HBO Max.
Okay,
yeah. Mid-ass movie. It was like whatever, you know.
This is cool. I mean, for the time, I saw it at the drive-in. I thought it was fun.
It wasn't mind-blowing. It was now. Here's the thing, Eli. After watching again, I had it a different mind. After watching Godzilla -1 and watching Twister, I went in a different mind frame watching Twister because I realized what they were doing. They weren't making a disaster movie. They were making a monster movie. Like the Twister was supposed to.
Whoa, man! You're going deep.
I didn't realize at the time when you watching that because even when you certain scenes, it was roaring at the time, and then Twister like kill Helen Hunt's parents or some shit like that. So it's like it's out for revenge. It's a weird ass movie. It's just like
you were busting down the themes and the cinema is real cinema.
What is a Twister?
The Twister, the tornado represents the duality of human nature.
And there were two Twisters, Twister sisters. They called them Sister Twisters, but yeah. Legolas, yeah, let's go though. So that
is he saying yo or Yoda? I got my glasses.
I think he's saying yo. He thinking yo.
What up? Thanks for listening.
He's saying you, but that's okay. Yo, but he's saying yo. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. Deconstruction of Twister, but yeah, that's all I gotta say. Mid-ass movie, it was okay, it was fine for what it was. So that's why. So that when I saw that, that's why I was like, do I really want to see Twister? And here's the thing, Eli, I'm hearing different reasons of why. Yeah, you know, it was it's one of the highest grossing movies of the year already.
You never know,
but I'm hearing reasons why. One reason because I'm hearing that it's not woke, whatever the fuck that means. Right, it's what I mean. Is the twist supposed to be racist or some shit? I don't know. You know, he only kills black people. I don't know what the fuck. What does it mean? It's not woke. I don't know what that means. You know. But there's another reason why it's why a lot of people are going out to this theater, and here's the reason. Bam!
It's got a cowboy in it. White guy in it.
That white guy, not just any white guy. You're saying white guy cowboy. That's it. This isn't just any white guy cowboy. This is the guy that's supposed to save Hollywood, Eli.
Oh, he's the white guy.
He's the white guy, right? Not just a white guy, the white guy.
Okay.
This is Glenn Powell. He's been in a bunch of movies already. And
that dude. Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of movies.
I heard he's the cowboy.
He's the cowboy. Yeah, he's the guy now. He's the guy now.
He's gonna clean up this town.
Yeah, the machine that's pushing him now. So yes, he's been in a bunch of movies already this year, and they've all been making like way more movie than what they're supposed to make. Like, how are these movies making this movie? Because people going to see him. He was in a Netflix movie, Eli, that I was going to review, but I'm not going to review. Hitman. He was in that.
I didn't see that yet. I heard good things about it, but
he acted his ass off in him. Honestly, when I saw that movie, I was like, okay, he's not just a white guy they're pushing. No, he's the real deal. Because it's always a white guy they're pushing.
He's not what's that dude? The guy from the the Mars guy, the guy on Mars. What was that movie called? John Adams, or the movie where the guy went to Mars and Disney pushed him. That dude. He was Gambit.
Yeah. That, you know what? I know you're talking about because that's the first name that popped in my head, but I can't remember his name because he's not in anything anymore. But he was in like every fucking movie around that time.
Yeah, he played Gambit as the one shitty Wolverine movie.
Yeah, he was in Gambit. He was in that John Carter movie.
John Carter, that's what I was thinking of.
Right, John Carter. I know John Carter, but I don't know the name of the dude you're talking about. But yes, he was in everything. Battleship. Why was he in Battleship?
Oh, Battleship.
They kept shoving that dude down our throat. Wasn't just him. Remember Sam Worthington?
That's who I was thinking of too. That guy. I was trying to think of the Avatar.
Like it's always a guy. It's always a guy. They shitty movie, but we're just gonna keep pushing them out there. Like we don't care about these guys. But every now and then they'll crank out a Glenn Powell. You know, they'll get lucky. You know. So he's got something to like. He's got something. That's all I'm saying.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you didn't see Twisters then?
No, I didn't see Twisters. No. I don't even know why we're talking about this. I didn't even see the movie, but that's the reason why a lot of other people did see the movie. That's why. Eventually I get around to see it. I'll see like that. Like I said, Twister 1 was whatever. So I can't imagine Twisters 2 to be that much better, especially 30 years. But if it is, you know, whatever. But you did see a movie. That's why I'm saying we're going to switch up.
Oh, yeah, I did see a movie, yeah.
And that's what we're going to talk about. Well, you're going to talk about it now because I didn't see it. Because, you know, I don't really watch horror movies. But you've seen all of them. Well, not all horror movies.
Well, not all the horror movies.
But you've seen all the movies in this franchise. So,
yes.
So we're talking about MaXXXine. So,
yes, I saw MaXXXine, which is the third installment of the X franchise, I guess you can call it. X. It started with X, and then it went to Pearl, and now this is the third one, MaXXXine. And I loved X. I thought X was really cool. I did love Pearl a lot too.
Now, didn't Pearl and X come out like in the same year?
Yeah, they were like they seemed like they filmed them back to back. You know. Oh. Because at the end of X, you got a trailer. Like the after credit scene of X was the trailer for Pearl, which then came out like just a few months later, like literally like 3 or 4 months later. It wasn't that long before Pearl dropped.
Wasted no time with that. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, X is
wasn't it like last year?
Like a year or two ago, like 2022. That was 2022, the year horror, the return of horror. You know, okay. When all those horror movies dropped.
Yeah, 2022. Yeah, you were reviewing a horror movie every week on
everything. The last Halloween movie. We had the Terrifier 2. We had
Corey Cunningham. Rest in paradise.
Oh shit! Yeah, don't get me started, man. Yeah, new Hellraiser. Like, didn't the new Texas Chainsaw drop that too? The Netflix?
God, that piece of shit movie. Yeah, it did drop. Yeah.
Yeah, 2022 was stacked with horror, and that's where X came out of. The Black Phone, all that shit. Yeah, that was a good year for horror. But yeah, I mean, X. I really liked X. It was like it was a slasher movie, but it subverted all those tropes and had a lot of subtext and deep themes. Layered throughout the movie, which I thought was really well. And normally I'm not a fan of pretentious, artsy fartsy shit, but unless you entertain me. And that's what X did. X was very artsy fartsy, but it was very entertaining as well. Same thing with Pearl. Pearl was basically Taxi Driver. You're with a woman. You're watching a woman go nuts, and but it was filmed in this big classical Hollywood style with big, huge, epic, you know, shots and the Technicolor, the glory days of Technicolor, you know, like Gone with the Wind or The Wizard of Oz, Ben-Hur, Lawrence of Arabia, like that big, epic, you know, film style, you know. And then now we have MaXXXine, which I gotta say isn't really a horror movie.
Is it was a knock or?
It was not what I was expecting. It's basically Once Upon a Time in Hollywood Part 2.
Which you love that movie.
And anybody who knows me knows I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Right.
I know that movie gets a lot of hate, and I understand. I get it. It's an acquired taste, and I've given up trying to convince people what a masterpiece.
All I know is that when that movie came out, anytime I brought up any Marvel movie, the first thing you said, well, it's not Once Upon a Time in
I know.
So
I know. I get so much shit for liking that movie. But no.
That honestly, Eli, it's an awesome movie. It really is. It really is an awesome movie. So
yeah,
we're in the same boat. We're in the same boat.
Yeah. And that's not a knock on MaXXXine, because I did like MaXXXine because it reminded me of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You know, whereas Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was like in the 60s, this is set in the 80s. But the sort of same themes, the same culture shift in Hollywood, the culture shift in the country, because that's what Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was. It was about, you know, times changing. These movie stars that he was a tough guy. He was no longer, he couldn't get roles anymore. He was dealing with the changing of the culture, the changing of the times. And that's what MaXXXine is about. It's the 80s, you know, everything's changing, you know, technology is changing. The Hollywood business is changing. That's the rise in VHS, home video, cable TV, MTV, you know, Reagan era. There was a rise in conservatism into politics. It was the 80s. Reagan was the president through the 80s. So there was like this conservative moral, was it the moral majority or whatever? The religious right, you know, that was the rise in, you know, the religious groups.
That's a weird thing when you think about it, because I mean, like, Reagan was a Republican and Reagan won. Like when he won, it was like by a landslide, like it wasn't even close. So it was almost like there was a time when America was mostly Republican, like right-wing. That was and that reflected in our media. Think about it, like all of our Rambo, all those Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, Charles Bronson, all those are right-wing movies. Yeah,
like Death Wish, a white dude just shooting up motherfuckers in the hood.
Shooting up every black and brown person he can find in the hood. They gotta go.
Yeah. So that's very much the themes in this movie, you know. And so MaXXXine is more, like I said, it's less of a horror movie. It's more of like a sleazy 80s street crime flick, you know, like Cobra or Vice Squad. These are like 80s movies. Or Avenging Angel. I don't know if you ever seen those movies. It's about this prostitute who becomes a vigilante, kind of like Foxy Brown. You know,
that's what I was gonna say. It sounds like Foxy Brown.
Yeah, or what's that other flick? Miss 45, like a female revenge movie. Those like really sleazy, you know, 80s grimy, gritty, you know, made for video movies. You know what I mean? That's what this is. It's not really a slasher. It's more of like a, you know, a sleazy 80s street flick, you know. And I, as I was watching, I'm like, I was preparing for like to be a slasher, because the Night Stalker, that the real life serial killer, it takes place during that time, you know, where the Night Stalker was loose, you know, and that's just the backdrop. Again, similar to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where the Manson murders was the backdrop, you know. Right. So that's where this takes place. And anyways, MaXXXine, her character.
Quick question. This didn't take place in Atlanta, did it?
No, it's LA, like Hollywood.
LA. Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So like, you know, it's the continuation of the X series. So MaXXXine is the porn star from the first X movie. She's the final girl, you know, in X, and she continues on in this movie. Now she's, you know, because she's made her name in porn, now she's trying to become a mainstream star, and she's auditioning for a horror movie. So it's just about her, auditioning for a horror movie, getting the part, preparing for the role. But meanwhile, her past comes back to haunt her. The shit that went down in X has coming back. There's a psycho killer, not, that you think is the Night Stalker, but it's actually, spoilers, it's her dad, who's basically the leader of this religious cult, after her.
Has he been in these movies before? Since it's like
he was like in clips. He was like a preacher in the first movie.
Okay.
So she's being stalked by this killer, and it's just her navigating that, being stalked with trying to basically get this role, prepare for this role. And she's trying to do everything she can. She has a goal. And that's what I like. I like her character. She's just like determined, woman who just that's her mantra. What does she say throughout the movie and all the movies? Like, I deserve a life, I won't settle for a life I don't deserve. That's like her mantra. She keeps saying through all these movies. She keeps saying what a star she is, and she wants to be famous. And basically, she wants to better herself. And she's doing everything she can to do that and reach that goal. So that's what I like about her. I mean, the beginning of the movie, I love, like, she does the audition, and then she walks out of the studio and all the women are lined up waiting for their audition. And she just goes, y'all better just go home because I killed that shit. So I just like her character, and then, and then she just starts kicking ass, There's a really fucking brutal scene where this guy tries to mug her or whatever, or, some street punk with a switchblade comes out and she pulls out a gun and like stomps his ball, like literally stomps his balls. Like, it's really brutal. Again, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or just Quentin Tarantino movies. Everybody's getting shot in the dick in Quentin Tarantino movies, that's when I'm like, okay, this isn't a slasher. She's a vigilante, So it's like taking those sleazy 80s crime flicks and kind of subvert them then, and that's and basically she, gets the part, spoilers, she saves, she kills her dad and exposes the cult and gets this part and stuff like that. So I mean, that's the simple story to it, but it still has that theme of what all these movies were trying to say, which is Hollywood does not respect horror as an art form. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what they've been saying to this, even though horror is profitable, it has this large audience, that is large fan base, it doesn't get respect. It's not respected as a valid form of cinema, especially in the 80s, because horror saved Hollywood in the 80s. I mean, you say what you will about Jason movies, Friday the 13th, they kept the lights on. Freddy, all those horror movies, they kept the lights on in Hollywood. But they try to act like it's this, lower brow form of, movies. It's just trash right. Cinema, and so that's what they're saying, and maybe I should, because, and then porn's the same way, that the fact that they're using porn, that she's a porn star, that she doesn't have, that she's being looked down upon by the industry because she was a porn star. Again, porn is like, sort of the symbolism, porn and horror, like, the symbolism of these, dismissed forms of filmmaking, and you can say the same thing with porn. Porn gets looked down upon. Porn stars are, looked down upon, but everybody watches it. Everybody, you know what I mean?
Right.
They want to. Yeah, everybody watches it. They try to act like they don't and try to act like they're holier than thou, but everybody knows can name at least one porn star. So I like those themes, again, those themes are still there, so I mean, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I didn't like it as much as X and Pearl, but I still liked it. I still liked it. And I think it's as a trilogy, okay. And that's what I like, that every movie is different. Like X is the straight up slasher movie. Pearl is more of a character study. And then MaXXXine is just a grimy, sleazy street crime flick, So I like that they all feel different. They're all like, they're not just rehashing stories and shit, So yeah, I dug on it. I was really hyped up to see this because I liked the first two, and I was a little taken back when it wasn't what I was expecting it to be. But then the more I watched it and the more I thought about it, like I did like this. The soundtrack, cool soundtrack, 80s metal, had ZZ Top, Rat, Judas Priest and shit, So yeah, I did dig on it. So I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. All right, now we can get back on schedule. We can talk about Eli. I'm gonna throw this to you also.
Uh-oh.
I could. No, I can't. Now that I think about it. Okay, I'm gonna let Eli talk about the Acolyte.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, let me before we get to that. This is it. This is season finale. This is the end of the season. So the season is done. It's all wrapped up. So the internet, YouTube, all you guys like that, wrap up all, get Acolyte talk by next week. I don't want to hear any more hour long. This show is this show. No, you're done. Find some Mr. Bitch.
This is woke trash. Disney ruined Star Wars.
Like
my pussy hurts.
Right.
Yeah.
We've heard it for 8 weeks. Move on, do something else. So now why I'm throwing this to Eli, why I can't throw it to it, because this whole time I was having Eli review this show, I'm thinking like, okay, one of these shows is gonna break him. One of these episodes is gonna break him. He's gonna do it. But here's the thing, Eli, it ended up breaking me. That's the thing. That's when I realized that. That was like, you got me. This episode right here, this is what it did. I made it all the way to the end, and this one got me, because now I'm like, okay, so what can I do about it? Because I'm seeing a lot of people bitching about this particular episode, 30 minutes clips and 40 minutes. I can't think of 30 or 40 minutes to think about this episode. I'm like, I'm drained. I'm done. That's it. That's why I'm throwing it to you to see if you got something, because I got nothing.
Well, no, because all I was gonna say is, yeah, the show is over. Woo.
Okay, cool. That's
I mean,
all I got. Yeah.
Other than the Yoda thing, well, first of all, I guess Darth Plagueis making a cameo is a big thing, even though he didn't do shit.
Sequel bait or season.
Yeah, it's all set up for other shit that they're probably gonna fucking suck at anyways.
Right.
But then they had the Yoda cameo at the end, which again goes back to what we've been saying from the get-go. Like I get, I'm all for critiquing the Jedi and portraying the Jedi as these like kind of assholes who had their heads up their asses, or this religious, arm of the government that is just colonizing the galaxy. I get that's been in the comics, that's been in the EU. That isn't new. That's nothing new. But when you start turning the Jedi into idiots,
right?
That's where I'm like, okay, Yoda be like, okay. I mean, Yoda sensed Order 66. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yoda could sense when Anakin was killing the Sand People in Attack of the Clones. He didn't know that any of this shit was going on.
You're like, I'm thinking like maybe he didn't know. Maybe it never got to him or something like that. No, they told him everything at the end of it. So. Yeah,
but he couldn't say. I mean, the coolest thing about this show was that lightsaber duel in episode 5 or whatever, 4 or 5.
I like the episode. I like the duels in this one. I like in
this
episode.
Yeah. But that was a Jedi massacre. That dude fucking like murked the whole Jedi squad.
Right.
And Yoda didn't know. And this is young Yoda. This is Yoda back in his prime.
Right.
So. Yeah, it's just I feel like including Yoda and him not being aware of this just makes him kind of an idiot.
It makes everybody idiot, either idiots or complicit.
Yeah,
because eventually, if there's multiple Jedi that's got massacred on a planet, you think that'd make a bigger noise than what's going on right now. It's like whatever, or even the witches, because Soul told her about the witches. That they mentioned nothing that to the council or to Yoda, or they just breezed past it like it was nothing.
Yeah, because they were aware of it. I mean, that's the reason why they went to that planet, because there was a vergence in the Force or whatever. So they were aware that something was going on in this planet. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Another thing that's I had to ask you because I had to get your expertise on this because I didn't know this was a thing. This Kyber bleeding, how she just got so pissed off and evil that it just turned red. Is that a thing?
Yeah, that was, I can't remember where did that come from, the comics? Did Jason Aaron do that with Vader? I can't remember. It is part of, that is part of canon where, the Sith would basically inject their blood into their Kyber crystal and to turn it red. Hence why they got red lightsabers. It's whatever,
Okay. So it's not a mood ring, is what you're saying.
No.
That's what I was thinking. Like, this don't make no fucking sense. Cause like I get it. She killed the dude that killed her mother. Okay, I guess that's evil. Anakin killed a room full of kids, and his shit never changed. You think that'd be more evil than the shit he did? But
you're right, because him and Obi-Wan had blue. Both their blades were blue.
Blue lightsabers, right? It didn't change no shit like that. It was just like so. So you're saying it's not a mood ring? It's not by emotions and shit like that. It's she bled into it. I was gonna rewatch it, but I was like, I can't. I'm good on that.
And this whole okay, now they're switched, so the good twin is now the bad twin, and the bad twin is now the good twin. Like whatever.
Jamie Kennedy, hey,
what
up?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for listening. It was whatever. Like I said, I stopped caring about the story, the plot a while ago, and just give me cool. Just give me cool lightsaber duels, and I got and the duels in this one was cool. I like the kung fu scenes. Yeah, they were doing the wire work.
It was that hidden dragon tiger. I'm completely screwing it up, but you know the movie I'm talking about.
Hong Kong action.
The Hong Kong action, the wire food they did, and they framed it purposely like that the way they did, because they could have differently, but we're gonna do it exactly like Hong Kong style did it. So I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
And the thing is, we gotta ask the question, because nobody wants to give this show any credit for anything. Are these the best lightsaber fights? Live action. That
one episode, that's up there. Like I said, would we say top 3, top 5 episodes of all the Star Wars shows, the Disney shows?
Here's the thing, Eli. Here's the thing, because we always put the prequels over everything, like as far as fight scenes, like that. They had the best fight scenes ever. You can't touch a fight scene like that. I almost want to put these fight scenes, like the multiple fight scenes in this show, over even any of the fight scenes in the prequels. I'm gonna tell you why. Because as great as those fights were, they did come off a little bit too choreographed, like performed, rehearsed. A little bit.
I mean, and again, that was the style. I mean, like especially the Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. That was totally like Hong Kong. I mean, that was right when the Matrix, like Hong Kong was influencing Hollywood. Matrix, the Charlie's Angels movies.
What I'm saying is that it felt too much like a dance. If that makes sense. That's my only knock. Like if you watch them, because like I said, as much times if I watched them, I've watched them as many times as I can count. Eventually, you can see this almost feels like. You can almost see like not Obi-Wan, but Ewan McGregor going like, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like he
and that's what but that's how they did it. I mean, it was essentially, you're right, they were choreographed like a dance,
right?
That's just the style.
But it's different. Like, okay, yes, it was choreographed like that, and every fight scene is choreographed like that. Well, at least the best ones are, but they don't feel as choreographed like that. And this one, it wasn't like that also. Now, what I'm hearing is that one of the greatest Star Wars scenes of all time, we can all agree on, was like when Darth Vader was in Rogue One. Yeah. So apparently those were the guys that choreographed that scene. So yeah. So and the thing is, like, I want to give this show credit for that. I kind of want to say they have the best fight scenes of any official Star Wars live action project. I want to say that. Now, if you want to go to Clone Wars, you want to go to the video game, sure.
And that's animation. Even if you watch, even when you watch the Clone Wars or Rebels, you can tell the CGI. You can see it's CGI. Like it's. I mean, they have not only is it animated, but like the movements are very crisp and smooth, and no motion blur or any of that shit.
Right.
You know,
where
but no, you're right. I mean, this wasn't as graceful as like, you know, the Duel of the Fates, but it had more. Yeah, it had more grit to it. You know,
now,
there was more like, yeah.
But here's the problem. I don't give a shit about these characters. That's
You're
the
right.
problem. So that's why we can't give it too much credit, because yes, the prequels held more weight because okay, we know this Obi-Wan Anakin fight, the whole galaxy, you know, is settled between how this fight gonna get in. They got this brother, sibling, father, mentor thing going on. So, but this is just like, okay, X-23 gets chopped in half. She's dead. Okay, I'm gonna say again. You know, you don't care. May and Osha, they could have killed them halfway through this show, and I wouldn't care if I would have missed them.
Like, I didn't care when Soul died.
He's like the only person. Like I didn't care when he died either, to be honest with you. But he's like the one person I kind of gave a crap about on this show. Like, and I kind of don't even care about him. You know.
Yeah.
So it's just like, so that's the one reason that it's like, so yeah, you can have all these cool fight scenes and choreograph and all shit like that, but if you don't care about the characters and what they're going through and the motivation, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
So
yeah, hence why I'm on my phone and shit. And, you know, like
honestly, doing this whole show, Eli, that's why I can't really talk about too much. I kind of was just paying attention to other shit. Only watched it when fight scenes started, and then paid attention to other shit. Because honestly, the episode was so predictable. I kind of knew what the fuck was gonna happen.
Yeah,
I mean, go good. She's gonna go bad. She's gonna kill him.
And you kind of, even in like the big mysteries really weren't mysteries. You know, you knew she had a twin. You knew the Jedi did some shady shit. You knew, like, Soul probably did some fucked up shit, and they just revealed it. You know, it wasn't really a mystery, because right when you think, oh, what did Soul do? Oh, he accidentally killed what's her face, the mom, and. You know, so there was, like, again, there was no tension, there was no buildup in any of the, as far as pacing of the plot. You know, and it's like, okay, whatever. You know, sure, yeah, or whatever. Yeah, I barely gave a shit. You know, and but I made it through. You know,
we made it all the way through. We made it all the way through. But yeah,
like it did. Like I said, it did just enough to keep me interested as far as like, the action scenes. And what, the Jedi doing some shady shit, which is an interesting idea. Too bad it wasn't, portrayed better,
Right, because it made them look like idiots. It wasn't
because
just
there was
they were out of character. There was too many of them that character. Like, for one thing that's like really out of character. Okay, so the evil Sith, sexy Sith dude, or whatever like that, he knew the difference between May and Osh. Like, he could sense this shit. How come Soul couldn't?
Yeah.
Soul through that whole episode and didn't realize Osh. I think until that Rocket Raccoon Beaver thing told them or whatever like that. Hey, she's evil.
They needed the little otter guy or whatever.
Yeah, like he's a Jedi master. He couldn't sense that shit that a motherfucker's trying to kill him.
Again, they're turning Jedi into doofuses, kind of bumbling idiots.
Like what? And that's why when that shit started happening, I was just like, okay, just pay no attention to the plot. Just go with it.
There was that one scene. Okay, I take it back. That one scene where the bald Jedi master chick was talking to the politician, that senator.
Yeah.
And how he's like, he's calling the Jedi out. Like, you guys are, you guys are shady.
Right, but we've had 8 episodes of basically saying the Jedi ain't shit. So now we got another long speech about the Jedi ain't shit.
Yeah. It was too little, too late. But that was an interest. Like, okay, more of that. But it was too little, too late. You know what I mean? That would have been cool to a cool. I mean, they were exploring that, but they didn't go enough into like that to nail it home that the Jedi are a form of the government. They are, like you said, the Catholic Church. They are fucking crooked cops in a way. You know what I mean? They could explore that idea more, and I just, they just kind of dropped the ball.
I was
about
to say that also, that whole scene in Brindok in the woods, shit like that, when they started killing all the, it did very much feel like a let's turn the body cam off type thing, So I think that's what they're trying to get at,
Which again is an interesting idea. It's just I didn't care because it wasn't, the way they portrayed it, it was just kind of uneven, trying to mix in the CW-ness, the teeny bopper-ness,
I told you, like, they're trying to go after that crowd. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But we can't say that because it makes us look like assholes if we say that.
Yeah, but yeah.
So
yeah, whatever.
But I have to ask you the $1 million question. Now, the $1 million question: is this the worst show that Disney Star Wars has produced so far? I gotta ask you because I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes.
Probably. This is the one where I like. This is the one where I was like, really? Like, I was starting to like, at least like I bitched about Boba Fett. I bitched about the last season of Mando, but at least I felt something. Yeah. This, I was like dozing off like a couple episodes. I was like dozing off because like I didn't care,
Right. At least with those last episodes, I'm like, okay, it's coming together. Something happened. I want to see what's going on. This, I'm just like, I don't give.
I'm dozing off. I'm on my phone. I'm like checking.
And then they had the nerve to threaten us with a second season with Yoda and Plagueis and all this shit like that. And it feels like that green Jedi chick is evil. And I told you, she knew that sexy Sith dude.
Yeah, that's her son, or I don't know,
or whatever the fuck it is,
or whatever. Yeah, it's some shit. And,
she was whipping them in his spare time. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I was just like, so my thing is this: I don't want a second season of this. I know they're going to try to push a second season of this. I don't know if we're going to. I don't know, because the thing is, they don't tell us the numbers since it's all streaming. We don't know the numbers on this.
Yeah, they claim this is one of the highest like rated show or highest watch.
They actually lied about that when the numbers came out. Yeah,
I mean, who knows? I'm sure a bunch of people were hate watching, so they could bitch about it. I mean,
that's what I'm wondering. Did they hate watch like Velma? Velma got a second season.
You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it to bitch about it. You know what I mean?
You gotta watch it to bitch about it. But it's like, but if you just ignored this shit because I hate it so much, of course they would just not do it.
Yeah.
Right, but since y'all hate watch, you want to talk about all this shit like that because whatever you want to say about this show got engagement.
Yeah,
Eli, the shows where I put the thumbnail on it, those are some of our biggest shows ever.
And that's all that matters now. It seems like that's all they care about. They don't give a shit if it's good or bad. Right. They just want, like you said, they just want the clicks. They just want, so like you said, the grifters can create their content. So they can make these hour-long videos of bitching about how the Acolytes woke trash and Disney sucks and they ruined Star blah blah. They because if without that, then they have nothing to bitch about. They have no content,
Right.
Yeah, so like it doesn't matter. We reach the point like they're just going to continue to create bullshit just so people can bitch or complain about it.
And that's the business model now because it doesn't matter because they can hide the Rotten. They don't have a Rotten Tomatoes score for these streaming shows. So all you got is just that you hide the numbers, so we don't know the numbers. All they want to know is are people clicking on it? That's it. That's all I want to know.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or hate it or didn't like it, they don't care whether you like it or hate it. They just want to know you're talking about it.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, what are you watching it for? I mean,
right.
Like I said, like we didn't love it, but we didn't hate it either. It was pretty much mid.
I kind of hated it, Eli. Not towards the end. I was mid halfway through. Towards the end, I was like, no, this is just bad. No.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think I would have to feel something to hate it, and I just didn't care. Which is probably worse.
Right.
Like, cause I was like mad watching Boba Fett. I was mad watching the last season of Mando, so at least I felt something,
Mm-hmm.
I had some energy. This one drained my energy.
Oh man.
Like, let's get this over with. Let's watch this Acolyte, cause not only was it just like, it wasn't that great of a show, but then just hearing everybody trash it, like, and
you can't trash in the open because you look like an asshole. You like a racist asshole that hate women and hate black people and all this shit like that. They're like, no, this show has problems. We're trying to tell you the problems of the show. And see, Disney does this shit on purpose, Eli. That's the thing. I've been calling Disney out on this shit, but nobody listens to me. They do this shit on purpose. They put people at the forefront that the OSHA May chick shit like that. Like the 4th, 5th show, she put out a rap album about how bigots and shit like that. And she goes on The View about how racist Star Wars fans are. And I get all that, but you're still ignoring the actual real criticism Star Wars fans have about it.
Yeah.
You talk about everything else but that. So now you're making all of us look like assholes. So we look like just as much the same assholes that the real racists that we see on Twitter and all this shit like that and YouTube like that. We're just all in the same bunch because either you like this show or you're racist. It's one or the other.
Yeah. I mean, and that's something I don't know if we can like get rid of, because it seems like, like there is that population that just like, if they hear the word inclusive or diversity or, woke or any, that's like trigger words and they automatically hate it, so which then takes away from, you're right, the true criticisms, real criticism, real critiquing of an art form is now dismissed. Now dismissed. You can't critique a show. You can't criticize its its artistic merit, without, sounding like, oh, you're a racist, sexist piece of shit,
Right.
And that kind of sucks.
Like, we know that Captain America movie with Anthony Mackie gonna come out. So let's say the movie is bad. Disney's gonna spin this shit where no, you don't like it because you're racist.
Yeah.
Like, no, the show might actually have like real problems with it. Wonder Man. They got a Wonder Man show coming out with Yahya Abdul, whatever.
Yeah.
That show looks like it's gonna be straight ass. It's Wonder Man. But if you don't like it, it's because you're racist.
Yeah.
Not because Wonder Man is a piece of shit character and they just swap this shit out because they don't want to throw a white dude in this bullshit.
Well, we'll take it back to the whole Silver Surfer controversy. Like we couldn't say, hey, does it look like the Silver Surfer without sounding like a bunch of misogynist, sexist pricks? Like, and then when I tried to flip it, I was like, oh yeah, right, yeah. If you don't like the Silver Surfer being a woman, you're a piece of shit. And if you don't like Madam Web, you're a piece of shit sexist too, And hey, wait a minute.
They tried to do it with Madam Web. Like, you're going too far with that. You can't fool
that.
No.
Yeah, but all the people claiming that if you don't like the Silver Surfer being a woman,
right?
Then wait a second. No, Matt, you cannot like Madam Web and not be a. Then they were saying you cannot like Madam Web and not be sexist.
Here's the thing, Eli. You went too far with Madam Web. Now, if you did the Marvels, you would have been right there. Oh man.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't see Madam Web, and that's the thing, is I never saw Madam.
If you saw it, you would be like, okay, this movie is so much of a piece of shit because they tried to do it. Your girl Emma Roberts would have like this. She tried to do, the internet just hate women. Like, no, this is a piece of shit movie. Don't try to do that with Madam Web. Oh yeah. Anyway, we can move on past that. Hold on.
Yeah, we went way too long on that.
We were way too long on that. You know why? Because I ain't talking about this shit ever again. That's why. Acolyte,
get it out, man. Get it all out, man.
It's out of here. No, I'm getting all that shit out of my head. I want
the
no
boys.
Like, yes.
Jake wants to hear about the boys.
Yeah, we got to talk about the boys. We got to talk about the boys. Okay.
The boys.
Let's talk about the boys. Is this going to be better or worse than what we talked? Okay. Here's the thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Before, did you at least see the season finale?
I did. I watched.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, the boys also, both Acolyte and boys, wrapped up their season. My opinion of this season, this was the worst episode of the worst season. That being said, I still enjoyed the season. I'm just saying it was the least like episode because I feel like the formula is starting to run a little thin. I know when somebody's about to get their head chopped off or their balls ripped off, something like that. I know when it happened. I know when somebody I haven't seen in season 1 walks through the door and it's season 8, I know they're about to get chopped in half. And I hadn't seen it where I was like, why are you here? Obviously about to die. So it's getting too repetitive. And I don't think the story is holding itself together because the story of the boys, like the first 3 seasons, I thought it was good enough that it can hold me. Even if you take the balance out, I think the story was still holding me. This one, the story wasn't holding me. I thought the story was building to something bigger than what it was. I thought it was going to be like Butcher versus the boys. I thought that's what they're building to. And they do that. Butcher just walked in, had a bunch of worms and shit like that, ripped what's her face in half, said you're welcome, and just walked out. That's it. That's not really what I was expecting. I was thinking something was going to be bigger than that. So, yeah. What else I got to say about this? Oh, another thing. this is becoming a trope. This is becoming a tired trope. Y'all need to stop doing this shit. I am tired of mother's milk. Yes. Mother's milk getting slapped in the face with a dick every season. That shit needs to stop, man. I don't like that shit.
I don't know what's funnier, the fact that keeps happening, or that you hate it.
Like, have somebody else get hit in the face with a dick once in a while. Or some shit.
Yeah, fucking have Huey. Like, shit.
Have Huey get hit. Well, Huey went through some shit, so I don't know. Wait for season 2 to drop. No, we're not waiting for season 2 to drop. He's talking about the.
Oh, did Jake even watch The Acolyte?
I think he did. He did. But you know what? I am hyped for season 5. I think season 5, what they're leading to, I think since it's going to be the big finale, I think they'll lead to that. And Soulja Boy's back.
Yeah, I think that's what this season was all filler. It's just a build. It was all set up for next season.
Yeah.
But I agree. I basically, after this episode, I was like, that's it. That's it.
It's kind of lackluster. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially you get the warning at the beginning. You know, this my trigger warning, blah, 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 blah. This might, portray recent events, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh shit, is this about to get ill? And it really didn't,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's it. That's the episode. And then the episode ended. I'm like, okay, that's the season finale. Really? That's it? And part of me is like, man, they didn't need to drop the first 3 episodes, because I feel like the season went by quick. I feel like the show was only on for like 2 weeks. It
was the same as Acolyte. Acolyte dropped three episodes and then went on. Like they had the exact same schedule.
Yeah, but it just felt like it went by really quick. I'm like, that's it? It's over already? I was like, and then so part of it was that, but part of it was like, yeah, it was just all set up. It was, yeah, you're right. It is starting to rely too much on the wacky, crazy, violent shit, and the psychosexual. Okay, what fetish does Homelander have this week?
Right.
You know what I mean? What's he gonna fuck this time? He's in the sticking his balls in light sockets or some shit. What fucked up sexual shit's gonna happen? The violence. I'm numb to all the violence. It's just like whatever now. And then, yeah, like I said, the story was just all set up for next season. I never watched Gen V, so I don't know who any of those people were at the end.
I was gonna say those were the people from Gen V. So
yeah, I assume that probably was. I don't know who any of these people are. So somebody's got a big giant dick.
That's Love Sausage. She's been in there since season 1.
I barely remember that.
I can't forget it. So yeah.
I thought this was just kind of a filler. This was all just kind of a filler season setting up for the big finale.
I have hope for season 5, but yeah, this one. And I already knew there was going to be a whole bunch of random crazy shit happening, and Save's going to pop out of nowhere saying like, "This is all part of my plan." I'm like, "Oh, get the fuck out of here, man!"
Yeah, even she kind of like, I was hoping she would do more.
Yeah,
I was really hoping for her to be like more, either more of a sinister character or more, or she would like sort of, she was playing everybody in the end or something.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of just lackluster, kind of anticlimactic.
Sorry, Jake. Wish we could have been more hyped for that, but yeah. At least I didn't outright hate this like Acolyte. So. No. This is I was way more engaged in this show than I was in. But it's funny because Acolyte got way more like internet engagement. Like I hear way more people talk about Acolyte than I hear people talk about the boys.
Yeah.
It's weird, but yeah.
It was just like stagnant. Like all the relations, like I didn't care about anybody's relation. Like move the story forward. They dragged on. Okay, Butcher's going crazy. Huey's dad. I don't give a shit. The shit between Frenchie and what's her face. Don't care anymore. Just move this. Let's get to it. And that's the thing. Is like after season 3 was so dope. Like that was a great season. It ended cool. And it was like, okay, they're finally starting. It's finally getting some tension. It's finally getting some momentum. And then this was just kind of stagnant. So
yeah, so
hopefully it goes out with a bang.
Cool. All right, can we move on past that?
Sure.
All right, we're gonna talk about video game. Actually, this the Eli show is over. I know
Pass the mic,
Yeah, I know it didn't feel like the Eli show because I wouldn't shut the fuck up. But now we're gonna talk about Evo. We're gonna talk about Evo. Evo happened tonight. I don't know who finished off with Street Fighter 6, like who won the Street Fighter 6 tournament, because it happened like right before when I was like putting everything together, so I didn't watch the end of it. I'll watch tomorrow, see what's going on. So that's Evo, this thing right there. Now, I know we don't advertise like other businesses on this podcast, but I got to advertise this, Eli. I got to advertise this. Evo was sponsored by Chipotle. Oh, now, the reason I'm saying
I like Chipotle.
Right. But the reason I'm saying that, because Chipotle gave out a free burrito to anybody that's watching it. Yeah. I got one today.
Damn. Okay. Well, shit. I would, if I would have known that, I would have.
Yeah, so it was weird. So what happened was they were like, right before we started the tournament, here's a QR code for a free burrito. I'm like, what? So I went, snap that shit.
What kind you get, man? Barbacoa?
I don't know. I don't even know this shit, man. It's free. Whatever the fuck. Default. Just give me that shit.
Oh, you don't got no preference. You don't like the steak, chicken, carnitas, or
I got chicken. You know what? It was chicken, but it was like they got like this limited edition, whatever. I don't know what it was. So I just saw it was a limited edition chicken something. So I clicked that. Whatever that was. I don't know what it was. I just clicked that. So I got that.
I remember that one. You posted that video of like the taco truck at your work or whatever.
Right. Like, what kind of taco you want?
And you said, what kind of meat? You said regular taco meat.
He didn't even say that. He said, what kind of taco you want? That's what he said. Like, what the fuck you mean, what kind of taco? I want a taco.
With regular taco meat.
Don't ask me what kind of taco I want. Like, is this a trick question and shit? I don't know how to answer that. Taco. Jake, now you're trolling, Jake. You're just trolling at this point.
Yeah, but Jake, Taco John's is far superior to Taco Bell.
Shout out to everybody in Vicksburg to Taco Casa. Only they would know about that, but yeah.
We got a taco. We have a taco house here, the West Side St. Paul. They got all Taco Madres. Shout out to them. And Nezco Tacos. My buddy Caesar, he's got his own taco truck. Dope shit. Burritos the size of a fucking football.
Now, that being said, Eli, I got to complain about Chipotle's service. Okay. Because I ordered my burrito. I went up there like at 2:00, whatever like that. And when I went up there, it was just sitting there. Like I went there at 2:00 and it was just sitting there, like on the out. And I just picked up, just grabbed it. I was just like, is this mine? And she like, take it. I'm like, take it? What the fuck? I'm like, how the fuck you talking about?
It is now.
Yeah. Like I can be anybody. Y'all just take the burrito. I mean, have my name on it, shit like that. Just say, just take the burrito. But I guess you were just like, we get so many free Street Fighter motherfuckers. You look like a motherfucker play Street Fighter. Take it. I don't care. So I don't know. Maybe I should be offended or something. I don't know. But it was just weird. But anyway, good ass burrito. That motherfucker was huge, Eli. That motherfucker. I only ate half of it. I couldn't eat the whole burrito.
No, they're big. Yeah, I usually
wasn't
save mine.
To be that big, so yeah.
They're good. No, a burrito. I love Chipotle. I don't get it all the time because it's a little spendy, but like I'll fuck up some Chipotle and the chips and guac. Damn, now I'm getting hungry, man.
Yeah, and I'm getting hungry too, man. But anyway, that's enough food news for today. We're talking about Evo.
Yeah,
Let's talk about Evo.
Talking about burritos and shit.
Right. I'm getting off subject. Anyway, so they have Evo tonight, and mostly the only one I watched like Third Strike. I'm like, I watched Tekken tonight. Eli, Tekken 8 is so weird. I don't understand it anymore. They got super meters and bars, and they pull out guns and shit now. It's gonna take me a while to get used to that. But I did watch Third Strike, and I saw some shit like everybody knows about Evo 37, where you catch all that shit right there. So they had a new one tonight. They had one where you do the bam, bam, bam. And now this shit is how hard this shit is. You only got a fifth of a second to catch that shit like that, But now I don't mind you beating me like that if you do that shit. But what you're not going to do is get on an Evo stage and do this. Why are you whipping my ass? I like that's
He's
just
doing
too
some
much.
fucking
Like,
Chun-Li, man.
no, man, no, that is not what you're gonna do.
No,
I'm
like,
putting a stick down and whooping your ass on live TV on Twitch.
I can do a Haruken in real life.
Not a split. You're not gonna do a fucking like you making a stag or some shit. So anyway, speaking of Chun-Li won the tournament, and I'm gonna tell you, and I hate Chun-Li on this game, and I'm gonna show you why I hate Chun-Li on the game, because I'm gonna show you the entirety of the last round of Third Strike. So this is the entire round, what she just did. Bam, full life beat, bam, 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 get him out of here, bam, 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 do that, bam. Round's over. That's what, and he won just for doing that bullshit. That's why I hate that fucking tournament, But that's okay. We went there.
Now, are you allowed to like program your fucking buttons or no?
So yeah. You can do all that. You can program. Oh, you can't bring in like special sticks with micro commands and shit like that. Like do this. No, you can't do that.
Coke for days.
No, cake for days. On the Twitch stream, that's all people say. Oh, you double cheeked up, on doing Evo.
I mean, Chun-Li's, got some wagon. I'm saying, she's.
It's a dude, Eli. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that guy. Yes, I'm talking about Chun. I'm talking about Chun-Li. I'm talking about Okay. I'm talking about pixels, motherfucker.
Okay.
Okay, that guy. And no, he don't got cake. That guy's got his ass so flat. You got to lay down and take a shit.
Like it,
Got a pancake ass. He ain't got no way.
Oh man, I think we talked enough about burritos and ass
and flat asses, flat dude asses.
Right. Move on to the next part of the podcast. All right. That being said, this comic bully.
That's it. That's your Evo coverage. I thought she was gonna go like fucking an hour.
Not really. I mean, it went. Motherfuckers fighting, playing video games and shit. It was fun. Watch it. It's on Twitch, right? Well, it was on Twitch. So yeah, that's all I got. That's it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So yeah, next part of the podcast, comic bullies. We're gonna talk about comic books. Eli, I'm gonna go first because you actually do have more books than I do this week. So I'm gonna let you.
It was a big week, man. There was a lot.
It was a big week. It was a big week. I got some stuff in there, but yeah.
Stacked week of books.
Plus, I guess one book that you got, I was like, I'm thinking about it, but I don't know if I want to get it. So when I heard you pick it up, I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Are you talking about Witchblade?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was like, first, yeah. I was like, huh? You want me to? You want me to do Witchblade now?
Ah, fuck it. Yeah, go ahead and do Witchblade now.
Okay, sure. I'll do Witchblade, number 1.
Okay. Now here's the thing. I've actually never read a Witchblade comic before.
No way, really?
I've never read it before. They didn't look appealing to me. And I know she's half naked, with the Infinity Gauntlet or some shit like that. But I'm just like, this is just too much, man. This is too much at one point. Like once you go past, what's that, Gen 13 and shit? I'm like, you just going past too much.
It was all cake, yeah. Speaking of cake.
It's just softcore at this point. Like, what's the point? I mean, what are we doing? But I guess it's who did this? Like Will Sperstatio was they?
No, that Mark Silvestri like co-created.
I know it was one of those X-Men guys.
Yeah, Top Cow. It was Image. Yeah, the guys from Image, who came, or guys from Marvel came over to Image to do their own books. Witchblade back in the 90s Image shit. So, big tits, big guns. Small plot. The art was that's the thing. Image, the art was dope. Stories,
they didn't care. They was
yeah. But this is the Witchblade. So this is about this cop. She's Sarah Pazzini. She's a cop in New York City. She acquires this like magical power or this gauntlet called the Witchblade. And it chooses its host, and it binds to its host. It binds to its wearer, kind of like Venom, like the symbiote. It binds to its host, and
everything from Venom reminded me of something from Marvel. But
yeah. So it binds to the Witchblade. It's a power. It binds to Sarah, and it grants her abilities. It basically, she can form weapons. It gives her a healing factor, gives her super strength, and she can fly, I think. And it's armor. It's also armor. which is so that it rips off her clothes and becomes an armor.
How's it armor when it don't even cover anything on it? It's like the fucking bra and panties.
Yeah, it was the 90s.
It was a different time.
Yeah, it was the 90s, so yeah, that's where all the the skin comes from. The Witchblade would rip off her clothes and cover her body, and or cover the important parts of her body. Yeah, it was and you can say it was a little juvenile. I mean, you can definitely tell horned out dudes were reading this, and horned out dudes were drawing it. Panels of
were buying it.
Yeah, horned out dudes were checking it out. Yeah, there's panels of chicks bending over, undressing, or taking a shower. Full on splash pages and shit. But anyway, so she gets this power, and she has to fight all these. It's an ancient relic that's gone back to the dawn of time, and she fights all these supernatural enemies and shit. That's essentially the premise of the Witchblade. And she crossed over with the darkness. See, I was more of the darkness kind of guy.
Now, the darkness, I was into. I picked up a few issues of the darkness. But
Yeah.
I know they were like in the same universe or whatever.
Yeah, they were like, well, the darkness and what the fuck is the witch? It's called something, the Angelus or something, the Angelus. I forget what it's called, but yeah, the darkness and the Witchblade are like basically the opposite of the same energy or the same like power. One's light, one's darkness, one's chaos, one's order, and the darkness was chaos, and and it bonded with what was his name, Jackie's name.
Now the
Esposito or
wasn't.
Yeah, go ahead.
He was a cop too, wasn't he?
No, he was a hitman. He was a mafia. He was a mob hitman.
Okay.
So yeah. So again, the two opposites. He was like a killer, an assassin. A mob hitman, and she was a cop. So, but anyways, yeah, they would cross over. So, anyways, that the original run of Witchblade went on for like 20 years, and it ended. They rebooted it a couple times. There was even a TV show which I never watched, like in the early 2000s. There was an anime they made, and they rebooted it like not too long ago, like a few years back, but with like a different character. But now this is a straight up reboot with Sarah Pazzini back. It's just a straight up, Witchblade Reborn, Witchblade
not
Rebirth.
A sequel, anything like that is okay.
Yeah, and it's Sarah Pazzini. She's a cop. She joined the force to find her father's killer. She's undercover, trying to sift out the police corruption. And meanwhile, what's that guy? Irons, I forget, John Irons or whatever, Ken Irons, the main bad guy. He uncovered the Witchblade, I think, in Paris, and it bonded to one of the archaeological workers who dug it up, and she ends up like going nuts and jumping on a plane. So he ends up following the archaeologist that the Witchblade bonded to. Okay, she's not the real host. We got to follow her and find out who the real host is going to be. The archaeologist flies across, to the U.S., lands in New York, and that's where she finds and ends up bonding with Sarah. So it bonds with Sarah at the end of the book, and then at the last panel, it shows Ian Nottingham. He's another bad guy. He's like, is he the Immortal or is the Iron Guy? Anyway, Ian Nottingham, he's another bad guy. He's like, yes, sir, we found the new host, Mr. Irons, and that's kind of where it ends. So, yeah, it was I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't like it because there's not enough tits and ass, but it's still fine.
Well, it was written by a woman this time. So
yeah, it was. Yeah. And it's the action's cool. The art is still cool. Like it's still solid. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I was more of a darkness kind of guy. I did follow the Witchblade for a while, but I like the darkness more. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm fully on board with this. So I might check out the next issue, or I don't know. Maybe wait for trade. If they start bringing the darkness back, who knows? But I think the Irons guy, he's like immortal. He like was like a Knights Templar. he's like 1,000 years old, and he like drank from the Holy Grail, so now he's immortal and shit. That's the thing, is these stories started to go a little biblical. You know what I mean? They started bringing in angels and shit, kind of like what Spawn became. You know, bringing all the Bible shit into the plot, and like I think Ian Nottingham had Excalibur at one point or some shit like that. You know, so
my thing is why bring back Witchblade? Like, are they, because when Witchblade first came out, and Darkness also, they had this multimedia thing. It wasn't just a comic. They had the TV show. Darkness had a video game.
They had a video game,
yeah. Are they planning something with that now? Are they trying to do like a movie, a TV show, a web series, a streaming thing with Witchblade now?
Yeah, they were talking about like a movie for a while. Didn't they announce a movie like back in like, I don't know, the heyday of the MCU? When they were making everything a comic book movie. Comic book movies were the big hype, and I think they were talking about making Witchblade a movie. But
but how serious are they? Because I've heard a movie being made of every comic book movie ever made. They want to make a Black Hawks movie. You know, with Steven Spielberg.
Where the fuck is Spawn? You know, Spawn's.
You know the thing about it, Tom McFarlane only brings up Spawn whenever Deadpool comes out and makes like $500 million. Don't forget about Spawn. Like, we forgot about Spawn.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this was okay. You know, I mean, I wasn't like particularly like wowed by it, but it was cool to like, oh yeah, that dude. Oh yeah, okay. I guess the nostalgia. I guess I kind of geeked out on. Oh yeah, I remember this. I remember that. You know, so I'm not completely sold on this series. But you know, if they do bring the Darkness, who knows? You know.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I was
if they did that. So yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, 3 out of 5. It was fine. You know, it wasn't bad. The art was fine. Silvestris did a cover, I know. No, the art was actually really solid. And it wasn't, and you know, as far as like the plot, it like there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just not, I guess Witchblade never appealed to me as much as like the Darkness did. And now that I'm not a horned out, you know, teenager anymore, like you know what I mean? Like again, it doesn't appeal to me as much as it used to. So that's the thing. It's
gotta have substance,
personal taste. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, 3 out of 5.
Okay. All right. So first book I'm going to do is Invincible Iron Man 20.
All right.
Now, here's the thing. This is the final issue of this run.
Okay. Yeah, you've been on this for a while.
I've been on this for a while. So I was like, and I picked it up. I didn't even know it until I read it. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Is this it? Is it we done? Like, we're done. This is it. So
that's a pretty sweet cover. Is that Alex Ross?
I think so. Probably so. He does
Looks
all
like
this.
it.
So yeah, so it's Iron Man hand, and it's a diamond hand, so obviously Emma Frost's hand. So
that's right. Oh yeah. So
so that's this book is about, and other shit goes. Basically, this is wrapping up this whole run, basically. So let's get to it because it's actually a lot of shit. It's actually a pretty meaty book. So yeah, let's get to it. The book starts off with everything that was going on. All right, so if you wonder what happened to Krakoa is gone. Like if you try to, it's not even like the island like up and left, like walked out. So it's just empty ocean right there. They explained in the X-Men where it went. I ain't got time for all this shit. It went somewhere. Orchis bought his whole company, but since it turned out they was an evil organization trying to destroy the world, they got, you know, the organization went out of business. Hellfire Club got destroyed. So that's gone.
The X did fall.
The X failed. When they say the X was gonna fall, the X fall. So yeah. So but Tony is late. What is he late? He's late for a court date because his buddy James Rhodes is getting exonerated. He's no longer in jail, no longer being called because Orchis framed him for some bullshit. Since Orchis was evil, they found out that they framed him. So now he's getting free. And you got She-Hulk, who were both of the lawyers the whole time. So and then She-Hulk was just like, okay, Tony's not a happy ending yet until you get my bill. He was like, well, can we sue Orchis? Like, Orchis ain't got any money. And then, well, how's the autobiography going? Because Tony's working on his autobiography right now. Like, are you gonna make any money from that? She's just like, well, my agent said I'm probably won't make any money up there right now because he said something called superhero fatigue. So I probably won't make any of that, but So anyway, and she's like, oh yeah, and I was gonna get your marriage annulled also. And so like, whoa, don't do that just yet. Let me come back to you and we'll work all it out. She like, I know what you're doing. And then they all ask like, what happened to Fei Long? That whole bad guy that was in this whole run the whole time. So Tony put him in a prison on Mars, just stuck him up there and trapped him in Mysterium so he can't get out. And he's got this AI robot that he controls whenever he needs just to see what he's going, like AI Iron Man robot that he can't kill. And just back there, and he just like, well, what am I supposed to do, Tony? Since you got me trapped here and I can't talk to anybody. And so like, did you read my autobiography? He's like, oh yeah, your autobiography. I want to thank you for that. It's keeping the table up right now. He's like, keep the table up. And he looks down and it's using the left leg is under there. He was like, you motherfucker. So he's just like, can you please send me back to Earth so I can be judged by my peers? He's like, I am your peer because I can't send you back to Earth because you had too much money, too much fame, that the justice system doesn't work for men like us. He didn't say him. He said us. So he's based on about 1%ers, rich assholes like them. So yeah. So he like, since I can't trust you with our justice, I know you're going to manipulate how you want to. I'm going to keep your ass up here and I will free you if and when I feel like it. And then he just leaves. So that's where Fei Long is right now. Meanwhile, Tony, was talking to him. He's on Earth at his house. And he's like, I'm late for a press release. So he's, Tony Stark up and he's heading out, So he's flying to a bookstore for his, a book signing in Portland. And he's flying the Iron Man, his mysterious suit. And he pops out and he's got a full tuxedo on. He meets Chet, the owner of the store. And Chet just like, Tony, glad you're here. I read your book. I'm glad your book isn't as bad as that cover look. And he's like, what's wrong with the cover? So the cover of the book looks like this. It's a cover of Iron Man putting on a Tony Stark costume. I thought it was pretty clever. I thought it was okay, So he's getting ready to sign that thing. They said, yeah, the block is around the block. They want to sign your book. It's a bunch of Iron Man cosplayers out there. Even one guy dressed like Crimson Dynamo. He like, really? Yeah. And his costume makes the hair real metal on it. So I'm like, wait, what? Like, hold up. Let me go find out what the hell's going on right here. So as soon as he goes outside, boom, Crimson Dynamo breaks through the wall. So that was not a cosplayer. It was really Crimson Dynamo out there waiting for Tony Stark to show up there. So why does Crimson Dynamo want to kill him this time? Because he read Tony's book. And he don't like the way he was portrayed. Not only he don't like the way he was portrayed in the book, he don't like the way Russia was portrayed in the book. Because he's trying to say the Soviet Union is trying to reform. So, and he don't like it trying to, Tony saying the Soviet Union isn't a thing. So he's coming to kill him, and he telling everybody, get the hell out of here. Y'all run, smacks through the building, stuff like that. Superhero fight breaks out. And basically, Chris Dynamo, here's your book sucks, Tony. Here's my review, 1 star. And he burns up every book in the building. So, yeah. So Tony traps him by hitting him with some goo that he was going to use on his Iron Man Sentinels. But since all of them gone, he still got this goo left. But the goo is so strong that Crimson Dynamo was stuck in there for like hours. And it's like, can he breathe in there? And so like, I think so. Can he piss in there? I don't know. Maybe not, So he like, anyway. And he's like, oh, damn, those books. He's like, Chet, you going to give me some money off of buying wholesale? He's like, I give you 10% off. So he's like, fine. So he flies off because he got a date to go somewhere else now. He's in New York. And he's going to meet his wife or ex-wife, depending on how this conversation goes. So he sits down with Emma. And he's just like, Emma, before you start, let me go first. He's like, look, I don't want you to leave. And she's like, Anthony, every man don't want me to leave. Like every man says that. She's like, no. I got a whole pitch. I got a whole multimedia thing. I got this PowerPoint presentation to tell you why we can work. They're like, nah, because the thing is, Tony, I didn't think I was going to be here today. Like, what, in love with me? Like, no, alive. Like, we did this whole Orcus, went to war with Orcus. I thought that was going to kill me. Like, the only thing, reason I'm not dead because you were like the only bright spot in my life around that time that kept me motivated to keep going. So I wanted to thank you for that. But at the same time, I got to figure out things on my own. She's like, take as much time as you need. I'll be here when you get back. And not only is she gone, Tony realizes she was never there. She was a mental projection the whole time. You're like, damn, yeah, deep. So, and he gets a letter from her. You're like, damn, she wants you to have this, Mr. Stark. And he opens the letter, and it's a check for several billions. We don't know how much billions in there because Tony was broke at like this whole run. So now when he got this check, he like, damn, I'm richer now than I've been like in a long time. So, and that's from Emma. So Emma's outside. She's like, yeah,
booty time. No,
I'm gonna go. And that's what she's saying. She's like, I know you're gonna fuck this money up as soon as I give it to you. So try not to piss it away as soon as you get it, you know. And she's like, but I do want to thank you, Tony. And she's like, so where you gonna go? He's like, I got things I got to do. And this pollen is getting in my eyes. Oh, yeah, she getting all emotional and you know. Then she leaves, so she's out. So yeah, exit stage left with Emma Frost. So, but he tells Tony tells her, before you leave, do me one favor, go talk to Doctor Strange. So she goes to Doctor Strange's house, the Sanctum Sanctorium, and who opens the door? His ghost dog thing that Loki killed. Long story, I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, the dog gives her a book, and the book is a photo album that the Stepford Cuckoos made for her. And because she thought she lost it in Krakoa. When Tony went to Krakoa to like recover some stuff, he found it and got it for her, but didn't tell her that he got it. And left with Doctor Strange so she couldn't find it. And now he's finally giving it back to her. That one thing from Krakoa that she wanted that she couldn't get, he gave it to her. So she's like, damn. So there's love there, but Emma got to be hard. And so she goes to Grand Central Station, which only reason I know what this is, Eli, because of the Spider-Man video game. So yeah. And she leaves, I guess, New York. So she takes a train to live out here. Now she did her a favor. Now she tells Tony to do her a favor. So the favor Tony does is that he puts a memorial up on the X-Men treehouse that they had. And she puts like a Sentinel memorial statue. So the Krakoan gates that they can no walk through no more. He writes a sign saying dedicated to those who paid the ultimate price to fight fascism. Since the gate doesn't work anymore, they just put a sign there. Who's helping them? Riri. Riri's helping them. Now, where has Riri been this whole run? She's been in Neverthelere building those Mysterium Iron Man suits for Tony. That's what you know. Oh, and she's also been getting rid of the Mandarin rings because they've been like possessing her and making her evil and shit. So she like got rid of them. So that's what she's been doing. So they're both looking at each other like, so what do we do now? Like, it's like, well, I don't know what you're gonna do, Riri, but I'm out of here. I got to get the hell out of New York because there's too much shit going on here. But I tell you what, when I land and on the West Coast, I'm gonna give you my phone number. I'm gonna give you my address. Hit me up. She's like, okay, cool. Until then, I'm gonna go build shit. And Riri exit stage left, so she's out of there. So he finally makes it to the West Coast and he burns some of Emma's money to build his own, to get like his own hangar out there. And who meets him out there? Rhodey. So Rhodey was already out there waiting for him. So, and Tony's just like, well, we got so now Tony's got his money back. He's rich again. But Emma never told him where she got the money from. He just assumed it was like Hellfire Club money or Krakoan money. It's none of that shit. Actually, what Emma did, she went to Wall Street and she just walked in there and started mind controlling a bunch of stockbrokers. And what they did is that she started moving money around and inside trading and all stuff like that, and started taking little bits and pieces of money from all the biggest gangsters in Marvel and just stole from them. So Roxanne, Tombstone, Dr. Doom, and the Yakuza, she stole from them to get Tony his money. And Tony in the narration says, like, eventually they find out what happened to their money, but that's the story for another time, you know. So meanwhile, Tony and Rhodey are playing basketball, but they're playing basketball with a basketball that weighs a ton. That's why there's so many like dents in the ground, in the concrete and shit. Yeah. So yeah, and then they get and crashing cars, and they get they get a notification that a rocket is about to, you know, get destroyed and shit like that. So Tony tells Rhodey, well, let's go take care of it. And that's how the book ends, with Tony and Rhodey saving a rocket. And Tony's just saying, look, just because two Avengers are on the West Coast don't mean we're forming a team. We're just out here just doing shit. We're just being buddies, being friends, laying low, because we know some crazy shit is going to happen to us eventually. So until then, we're just going to just save people here and there. But don't tell anybody, I'm also building the West Coast Avengers. The end. Yeah. That's what he was trying to tell Riri about, but he didn't want to tell Riri till you get in contact with her. So yeah. So that's the book.
Never ending story.
So this is what I call putting the toys back in the toy box. You know, every time I write it, the next they're rebooting it, and it's gonna be a whole new writer that's taking over. Basically what they did, all the fucked up shit that happened with Tony, losing his money, getting married, something like that. This basically put Tony at the very beginning of where he started, basically.
Yeah.
So when a new writer comes in, he didn't got to worry about all this bullshit and carrying us. Like, just write the Iron Man story you want to write. So that's all.
We come in. Who's that? I'd smash. Who's this? Sausage Mahoney. I can't control that. You control that.
No, you can control it. But,
I tried to. I'd smash She-Hulk. No cap.
See, that's what I'm talking about. He was there in the 80s with us. So yeah. What do we got here?
She would crush your pelvic bone. Yeah, she would smash you.
Right. You're not the smash.
Lay there and enjoy it. Yeah.
You're right. Death by Snooze. These guys are having a hilarious comment section.
Yeah, man. What's your show? Let's watch your show.
Yeah, let's watch your show, baby. Y'all shit is entertaining down there right now. All right.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 just because it's the classic put the toys back in the toy box book, you know. Is what it is. But I've been enjoying this run. So if anybody want to go back and read this run, if you go back and read the whole Krakoa X-Men thing, make sure you add the Iron Man book in there because this was completely tied into that shit. So yeah.
Yeah, there's the Iron Sentinels and all that shit.
Yeah, all that shit. He married X-Man, all stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. So
they annulled the marriage. So basically, since technically he didn't marry Emma Frost, he married Hazel Kendall or some shit like that. And since Hazel Kendall is a real person, the marriage never happened. So that's that. So loophole.
The loophole.
Yeah. The loophole. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So yes, what you got?
I got Nightwing number 116.
Okay. Boom. There you go.
So this is what, part 3? Part 3 in Fallen Grayson. The final arc in Tom Taylor's Nightwing.
I have to ask him that this is not an absolute power thing, is it?
No.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
This is Fallen Grayson. The story arc, the final story arc in Tom Taylor's run of Nightwing. So this picks up last issue. Heartless, the serial killer that that's been like, Nightwing's been fighting this, this entire run. Sorry to
interrupt you. Is that Dead Man?
That's Dead Man.
He's been in the book?
No.
Oh, I was wondering, like, why is Dead Man here? But okay.
Yeah, Dead Man's here. So Heartless framed Nightwing, basically, for all his murders. And Nightwing was arrested, and right there, this is that's pretty cool. Like, I thought this was pretty cool how Nightwing Tom Taylor tied the whole arc together. Like, all the shit that Nightwing's been doing, this whole Tom Taylor run is like referenced on these couple pages of how clever Heartless played him. That was Nightwing behind that killing. That was Nightwing about that. That whole thing with the mayor. Well, guess what? The mayor's his sister. All that shit. It all ties back. I thought that was pretty cool. And so, yeah, it all leads back. It was Dick Grayson the whole time. He's the one doing all these killings, blah, 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 blah. So they got, Nightwing's been arrested. He's in the hospital because that whole fire, and he got beat up and shit. He ends up escaping. He escapes, and he's like, I got to get out of here. I got to, I got some shit to do. I got to, also he's been afraid of heights. He's like kind of traumatized right now. And he's got, he's afraid of heights. He's got a fear of heights right now, which kind of fucks up his job because it's Nightwing,
Right.
He was a trap. He was in the circus, So, Barbara patches him up, and he basically takes off on his sabbatical, his journey of self-reflection. And that was like back to the first issue. The first issue we saw, Nightwing in the mountains and climbing some mountains in the wintertime, and he's on a journey, and we flash back to where, this is what led him here. So now he's, on this journey, he's traveling across the globe, he's climbing these mountains to get to what's his face's shrine. Oh, and he calls himself Robert Malone.
Robert Malone. Okay.
Robert Malone. So probably matches Malone's son or whatever. So yeah, he goes, travels across the globe, finally reaches Dead Man's temple or whatever. And
don't tell
before,
me not Nandipur.
not Nanda Parbat or whatever.
Not Nanda Parbat. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And they reference something about, so before you ask why is Dead Man back because you thought he died in Night Terrors or something, they explain why he's back, and I don't remember. But Dead Man.
I mean, he's dead. I mean,
Dead Man's been resurrected. Meanwhile,
dead,
back, yeah, or he's back. His soul is back, or whatever. But meanwhile, back in Bloodhaven, Heartless, like basically, does this broadcast, citywide broadcast, saying, "I am Heartless, aka Dick Grayson." So he's just straight up saying he's Dick Grayson. I'm responsible for all these murders and blah 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 blah, and I have a cult, and they're loyal to me, and they're all your parents and stuff, and I will be murdering one parent per hour until the Titans leave Bloodhaven.
Damn. Okay.
So the Titans are like watching this on TV and like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? And they're like, we better go. I mean, Barbara's like, yeah, y'all better just go. So they jump in a boom tube, not a boob tube, a boom tube, and they take off. Titans just get out of there. So then, Barbara's talking, and then Batman shows up. And he's talking, and it's weird because he's talking to Barbara, and then Batman just starts taking off his clothes.
Okay.
He's getting undressed, and he's like, "Yeah, blood. Dick did this for me when I couldn't be there, so it's time that I, do this for him. Bloodhaven needs Nightwing, and that's where they're gonna get." So Bruce Wayne dresses up as Nightwing. And the Nightwing's
that was already
back.
spoiled like 2 weeks. Like every site has been posting that shit already. Like Bruce Wayne becomes Nightwing. I'm like,
yeah. So that's the last panel to be continued. And yeah, this is cool. I'm digging on this. Like I said, the Tom Taylor run. Tom Taylor's been killing it on this Nightwing shit, and this is his final arc. And So, anyways, Dick goes to Dead Man because Dead Man's gonna help him like get over his fear of heights or whatever.
Right, because Dead Man was also an acrobat.
Yeah, and they flash back to that. He knew Dead Man, or the before he became the human. What was his name? Brandon something.
Brandon Boston Brand.
Something like that. Yeah, he knew.
Wait, he knew Dead Man. Like
he knew. Dick knew him as a kid.
How? I thought they said like Dead Man was like in the. Okay, whatever.
I don't know. There's a flashback. Dick's a little kid. He's in the circus, and Brandon comes and talks to him and says, "Yeah, man, you should be. Yeah, you kind of coaches him. Don't be afraid of heights, man. You're gonna be great." Blah blah blah. So that's why he travels across the globe to find Dead Man's shrine and talk to Dead Man.
Because I always thought that Dead Man was like hundreds of years old or some shit. I just assumed that, but
whatever. I don't know. And so there you go. And while Dick's gone, Bruce Wayne is taking over the Nightwing mantle for Bloody. So I thought it was cool. 4 out of 5. I made it this far. Just a few more issues. So
hang in there. All right. So last book I'm going to do this. This is all I got left. I'm going to do an Absolute Power tie-in.
Is this Superman?
Superman, yeah.
I read this too. I didn't read this.
Okay, cool. All right, so with this is the Absolute Tower tie-in. Basically, found out what happened to Superman after he got shot by a regular ass bullet. So that's the thing was going on right now. Hold on, let me make sure we got that. Oh no, where are you? Right here. Boom. There you go. All right, so let's get to the book. See what we got going on. And so we got here basically a flashback. They bought Clark a magic book, to learn magic when he was a kid, like all kids do. He just learned it. And he calls himself Clark the Conjurer. That was his name. But he sucked at magic. So it's a thing like that. He tried to pick a card, any card, picks the wrong card. And then he started realizing that this part of the magic trick, your shirt turning red. And he realized that he was dreaming the whole time because he's in a coma because Mr. Terrific and Dr. Midnight are trying to save him. They realize he has no powers. They had a kryptonite scalpel, but they don't need it because he doesn't have any powers. So, and basically the flashback. And now we know that Superman actually got shot twice. One in the chest, one in the shoulder. But the one in the shoulder was the one that was the most dangerous because it was like almost hit an artery. So they're trying to save him before he passes out. So, it's things. So you got basically Amanda Waller has taken over the city.
But Superman is being operated on.
Yeah. They're operating on him because they're basically trying to pull the bullet out, basically. So, yeah.
But, just Superman. Somebody had to cut Superman open to take out a bullet. So when does that ever happen?
Well, Batman did it in one of those books we did it, but he had a kryptonite scalpel to do it. So, yeah. So, So that's the thing. All right. So we're just in Metropolis right now, seeing what's going on. And they're basically hunting down the city, looking for any super people that are there that they haven't taken the powers from. And we get this one person running away, going through the way, and you hear open, but written backwards. So we already know it's Zatanna, but they've already got her. They've already taken away her powers also. So, and then she gets spotted by the task force agents, whatever like that. She's like, oh, shit. And she's like, I know who this is. This is Zatara. And they're like, are you going to do a magic trick for us? And then we get a flashback of Zatanna when Bruce Wayne was training to be Batman, when he went all across the world and shit. One of those stops he made was at Zatanna's father's place to learn how to become an escape artist. So during the whole time when he was learning to become an escape artist, him and Zatanna got close. Now DC has never really pinpointed how close they got. All we know is they got close, and basically they got close enough that Bruce decided to teach her martial arts. So she remembers her training from Batman and just goes to work on these guys, throw the thing out, takes them out quick. But as soon as you take those guys out, that goes some more guys coming in, and Jamal Campbell's drawing it. That's why I got it, because Jamal Campbell's drawing like awesome. More guys come in, and she gets rescued by Mercy in the Supermobile. So she gets her out of there and sticks to a place. She was like, I'm looking for any super people I can find, but it's not too many I can find. She's like, well, where are you going to take us? Because Amanda Waller has eyes and ears everywhere. Tell them one place we can go. And she takes to the Fortress of Solitude. So goes there, and we got the whole bunch of super vehicles. And she walks in the room, and she's like, damn, I thought it'd be more super people here than that, because that's all Mercy could find, And basically they're arguing. You got Booster Gold and Blue Beetle arguing with Red Tornado, because the same tech that powers the Amazos, the solar powers, is powered by a Red Tornado also. Like almost the same guy, not the same guy, So, but Superman comes down because he was saved. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody stop arguing. You're here for a reason. We need all the hands we can get. So, and he's wearing the black suit. So what is the purpose of the black suit? There's actually a purpose for the black suit, even back in the 90s. He wears it whenever he's depowered. So when he wears that black suit, he absorbs sunlight faster. But Mr. Terrific and Dr. Midnight are telling him that his powers are gone. Like, you're not going to absorb sunlight. It's not going to work. But wear it if you want, but it ain't helping me. So, yeah. So she's basically saying what's going on, how many people are here. Mercy is saying, I couldn't get everybody. I brought back some people. And she's upset. And Superman, hugs her. Like, Superman hugs Lex Luthor's assistant, and she's saying she's going back out there, but like, we need a better way of doing this. And Zatanna, like, I know a way. She's like, let me guess, magic. You're like, yeah. But the thing is, even though her magic is taken away, that doesn't mean that magic doesn't exist anymore. Magic is still out there. We lost access to it because they took her powers away. But the thing is, I know how to get back access to it. If we can get the map of Mordru, we'll learn how to do it. So that way they'll learn how to go to another dimension, basically like another dimension that lets them walk through anywhere they want to and teleport where they need to. That way Waller can't see them. So yeah, that's it. So, and she's just like, look, that's a great plan. And then you come with me, Diana and Bruce in the big room. We're going to talk this out. She's like, oh, Batman's in there? Let me go thank him. Hot to it. So so Mercy goes back out there, and Superman sends her on a mission to go do this one thing or rescue this one person. So We don't know what the mission is, but what we do know is that in Supercorp, you got Jimmy Olsen, Silver Banshee, Lena Luthor, and Lex Luthor. And what all they're doing, they're basically trying to take Lex Luthor to Supercorp to see if anything in there can jog his memory since he built Supercorp. And like I said, he got mind wiped from fighting Brainiac in that other issue. So he's just like, I don't recognize any of this stuff here. I don't even know who Lex Luthor is. I don't know why you keep even calling me that. So they're like, well, this was a waste of time. So while they're trying to figure out what's going on, that's when, bam, they get ambushed by the task force agents, Peacemaker, and Lady Peacemaker, who I'm pretty sure she has a name, but I don't know it. Was it Peace Wrecker or something? I don't know.
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't know. What Lady Peacemaker, that's what I'm gonna call it for right now. So anyway, she's like, oh, Lex Luthor's here? Yeah, we've been looking for you. Yeah, you come with us. Agents, kill everybody else in this room. So, and that's when you got Lady Peacemaker, Jimmy Olsen trying to get some good shots in, none of that shit's working. Lady Peacemaker puts a gun to his head, and before she can pull the trigger, bam, all of them get shot. Lady Peacemaker, the agents, all of them get shot. And like, who did this shit? And it turns out it was, bam, Lois Lane in a Lex Luthor suit. And she's like, everybody suit up. We got to take down Waller. And to be continued. So, yeah. Whether or not that's the person. Now, whether that's the person that they wanted to rescue, I don't know. Maybe somebody else. But yeah, that's the book. So, like I said, tie-in. This is just whatever. But like I said, the art is awesome. So I still like that. Pretty cool. At least we know what happened to Superman afterwards. So it's giving us some more details. But still throwaway book. So 45. Good strong 45. That's all I got for that. So yeah.
Yeah, it was just like you said, tie-in.
Yeah, it's a tie-in. So yeah. But what you got next? I know what you got next. You got this one.
Destro number 2.
Mm-hmm.
The Energon universe. So yeah, the Image has G.I. Joe and Transformers. They're crossover stories. They call the Energon universe. Yeah, pretty cool shit. Transformers book is dope. We've had the Duke book, where Duke kind of witnessed a jet transform into a robot, aka Starscream, but then the government's trying to keep it on wraps. So then he goes AWOL and tries to uncover the secret. We had the Cobra Commander book, where Cobra Commander has uncovered Megatron's powered off corpse and discovered Energon. So he's using Energon to create weapons, and he gives Destro, because Destro is part of Mars Industries, he's a weapons manufacturer. He's like, hey, you can use this Energon to create me some weapons and join my Cobra force to take over the world and blah, 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 blah. So Destro uses the Energon to upgrade the Bat Troopers. The Bat Troopers are the battle android troopers. They're the robot soldiers that he has. So in the first book, Tomax and Zaymot. I don't know if anybody remember those twins from the G.I. Joe cartoon. They have their own, I forget the name of their corporate. They're also weapons dealers, and they have, the Red Guards or whatever, and they end up attacking Destro's, headquarters. There's a big old war, a big old battle.
Yeah.
Huh? What's that?
The Mars Corporation.
That's Destro. Tomax and Zaymot, they have, what are they called? Extensive Enterprises. That's what they're called. That's okay. Tomax and Zaymot. That's the twins' weapons manufacturing company. So yeah, they attack each other, and and that's where we start out. The two weapons dealers corporations are battling. You got the Tomax and Zaymot's Red Guard, and then you have or the Crimson Guard, and then you have they're going up against the Bat Troopers. So we have a cool action scene with that. The battle
symmetry, like on the 2 pages.
Yeah.
Between.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, Destro's pissed off at them, and Tomax and Zaymot are like, "Yeah, we got to take over. We got to take out Destro." Blah 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 blah. So Destro's like, "Hey, meet on this island with all the weapons graveyard or whatever. It's like where all this old technology and war, weapons and vehicles and tanks and shit are all like, it's like a junkyard for like, war vehicles and shit. And they're meeting. So he has a meeting with them, and Tomax and Xamot are like, yo, we're not going to join you, blah, blah, blah. And Destro's like, hey, I got this new form of energy. If we do join forces, we can create dope ass weapons, and then we can take over Cobra, because Cobra's got it, So you help me take over Cobra, and I'll kill you later. He's like, I will kill you, both of you, but not now. I will save killing you later. And Tomax and Xamot are like, okay, yeah, we'll kill you too later. So they agree to work with each other, So that's kind of it. Oh, and then at the end of the book, Destro goes back to like his home. Like he's from like Scotland, so he's from like Highland or whatever. He goes up into the mountains. He goes back to his clan. There's like this shrine where all his old ancestors are buried or whatever, and they all wore masks. They are all like iron, like blacksmiths, and all war merchants. And he's like basically goes there to like meditate and ask. I think he's probably insane too, because he talks to them. So while he's there, Chameleon is perched above the mountains with a sniper, and she's like, Chameleon to overkill. Everything's on schedule. Destro thinks he's a very clever boy. They know where he is. Then not only do they know where Destro is, they know where that shrine is too. So, and Chameleon, I believe, was like Baroness's sister or something like that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they connected. Okay. Yeah,
she looks just like Baroness. And then Overkill is that one. He was kind of like Brainiac. He's like the Cobra Brainiac, the Brainiac of Cobra.
Okay.
So that's where it ends. To be continued. And yeah, I gotta say, they're really like building. It's a slow burn, but they're slowly building this whole. It's basically G.I. Joe year one. Cobra's becoming Cobra. Cobra's making his moves and building his organization. We got Destro doing his thing. We got, there's also the Scarlet Book and Duke. They are like working together to form G.I. Joe. And one of these days they're going to fight the Transformers. It's all building up towards the crossing over with the Transformers. So, but yeah, I'm digging. I've been digging these books, So yeah, I'll give this a 4 out of 5. Pretty cool shit.
Nice. There you go. Anything else you read or?
No, I mean I read The Incredible Hulk. It wasn't a Blood Hunt tie-in, so that was kind of cool. That was fine. So. But
cool.
yeah,
I don't think the Hulk has been in that Blood Hunt at all.
There is a Blood Hunt tie-in with the Hulk.
Oh, there is. You're right about that.
But okay. I don't think I read it. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, for the next week, next week, obviously, Deadpool 3 comes out. I'm going on media blackout because not only has the internet wants to spoil everything about it, Marvel wants to spoil everything about it because they just release trailers left and right, just saying, "Oh, this person's in it," if you didn't know. So, I'm going to media blackout. Just don't talk to me, and then I'll spoil everything next week about who's in it.
I will try my best to see it.
If you don't, I'm letting you know Goku's in it, John Wick's in it, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Spoil the shit out of it. I'm sure. Yeah, it's the multiverse. Everybody's going to be it. Luke's in it. Yoda's in it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's cool. Everybody's in it. So yeah. I'll tell you who's not in it next week. So So that being said,
Optimus Prime's in it. Yeah, that would be dope too.
That would be a dope if he's in it. So yeah. And I'm pretty sure some other stuff will go on. But yeah, until then, this is who am I? I'm Leroy. Yeah. This is Leroy.
This is Eli.
And we'll talk to you guys this week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel. Until then, die 1,000 deaths. Oh, no, not that. No, not that.
Death by KO. There you go.
That's what I'm gonna do.